Many of us are familiar with the common saying, the eyes are the window to the soul. Our research group at the Marcus Autism Center uses eye tracking to understand when and why we look to the eyes of others in order to better identify and understand neurodevelopmental disorders like autism spectrum disorder. To know when the eyes become meaningful, we're going to start at the very beginning, infancy. An infant's ability to see shapes, colors, and details changes a lot during the first year of life. At birth, an infant's vision is quite poor. They are nearsighted and sensitive to black and white contrast rather than color. While this may seem like an early disadvantage, in reality there is a precise match between what baby's visual system can detect and what information is most adaptive for their survival. For example, the distance at which baby can see clearly is just about how far they are from a caregiver's face when nursing. And think about what region of the face has consistent and distinct contrast: the eyes, with the white sclera and black pupil. Therefore, though baby is exposed to a huge amount of available visual information, the undeveloped visual system acts as a low-pass filter to help infants gravitate towards the information that is most beneficial, the eyes of others. The same specification exists in the auditory system. Babies are better at distinguishing high-frequency sounds versus low-frequency sounds. And how do caregivers talk to their babies? And us to our pets? In motherese, a high-pitched, simplified tone. Hi, baby. What are you doing? Do you want to say hi? This preference for social attention and information helps babies form a close and meaningful bond with their caregivers. To study research questions like when and why the eyes become the windows to the soul, our lab aims to measure infant attention to the eyes in real time. This is what our experimental setup looks like. Baby gets comfy in a bassinet, and then we show them videos of actress caregivers playing and talking to them. Then, using a camera zoomed into their eye image, we can track exactly what baby is looking at moment to moment. In the lab, we follow infants from birth to 2 years in order to create growth charts of developmental social attention. Think growth charts for height and weight, but adapted for social milestones. We also follow infants who are later diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder to compare their trajectories of social development with those of their typically developing peers. ASD is a neurodevelopmental disorder usually diagnosed in toddlerhood, with a prevalence of 1 in 54. Folks with ASD often have difficulty with social communication and interaction. Because we work with kiddos who are typically developing and those later diagnosed with ASD, we can identify when kids with ASD diverge from their peers and how those divergences impact their social development. For example, this is data from a 5-month-old typically developing infant. The white crosshair represents what they are looking at, and the speed of the crosshair is significantly slowed down. Though this infant is only 5 months old, they are very focused on the eyes of the woman in this video. For this young infant, the eyes are already a meaningful source of information, above and beyond anything else in the background or even other features of this woman's face. In contrast, this is eye tracking data from a 5-month-old infant later diagnosed with ASD. As you can see, this infant is having a very different learning experience compared to the previous infant. They do not look to the eyes as often. Again, this video is slowed down and we can't make diagnostic predictions from a single video, but this does depict the broader trend shown in our data and from anecdotal evidence. Toddlers, children, and adults with ASD look less to the eyes overall. This video only captures a few seconds of this infant's experience, but if we imagine how these seconds of atypical social attention might accumulate, we see this baby will ultimately experience a very different early social learning environment. These differences take on further importance when we realize that what baby sees is what they learn from, is what influences their developing brain. During the first year of life, baby's brain is highly plastic and responsive to their experiences. For these reasons, the lab is also very interested in studying brain and behavior together, and so we use neuroimaging to take pictures of baby brains and see how their structure and function take shape. This is a representation of major white matter tracts in the infant brain. These tracts act like highways for information traveling from brain region to brain region. Thank you all for your attention, and to the Brain Bee and its supporting institutions.